My friends, hello and welcome back. I'm glad that you're here because we're going to work on some reading. This is a reading practice test that will really help you on your GED or your HiSET test. And this is a special passage. We're going to go over El Dorado, okay? We're going to read a passage and answer a couple questions, and then we're going to read a poem and answer a question, and then combine the two together, okay? So this is actually something that they're doing a lot on the GED and the HiSET, taking two passages, combining them together, and seeing how you can critically think. Now, friends, I invite you to join my membership where I have practice videos like this, as well as content videos that will really help you as you're preparing for your GED or HiSET. I have many subject areas, and it's growing every single month. I'm adding new videos. So let me welcome Millicent and Catherine. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're both in our Purely Persistent Academy Student Edition membership. Welcome, welcome. And friends, come and join these two. It's really going to help propel you in your success toward your GED or your HiSET. All right, friends, let's dive into El Dorado. Now, this reading test has come from HiSET, and they've given me permission to use their content to help prepare you for your HiSET test. But if you're here working on your GED, no worries, this is really going to help prepare you as well. So let's get started. Now, this technique here is called SLAAY. It's something I recommend all my students do on the test, okay? And it's something that my students actually help me come up with. So S stands for skim. L is look at the questions. A is actually read, answer the questions, and then check your answers or check your work. And this is a technique that my students swear by because it's really going to help them and you know what you're reading, right? You're not going to be dozing off and thinking about other things while you're reading. It's going to help you focus and pay attention. So I highly recommend that you use this technique, and this is the technique that we're going to use today. So I'm going to read the bold and then also a little bit of each paragraph. The next two passages are related. Questions 1 and 2 refer to the following passage. The following non-fictional passage gives an account of the mythical city of gold known as El Dorado, with a focus on an Englishman's expedition. The quest for El Dorado. Now with the SLAAY technique, I'm going to read about maybe half a line of each paragraph, and that is really going to help me understand what the gist of the article is about. Ideas should be treasured, but should all ideas be pursued? In February 1595, Raleigh sailed to Guyana in South America. The voyagers faced numerous obstacles. The crew's unwavering commitment pushed them to journey. The very essence of the land itself echoed. However, by then, Raleigh's crew had traveled nearly 400 miles inland. So now that we've done this skim, summarize it. What is this about? Well, it's about Raleigh, who has a crew that he's setting off on an adventure to El Dorado, right? So we kind of have an idea of what it's about. Now the L is look at the questions. So let's do that right now. How does paragraph 1? Okay, friends, stop right there. Whenever it refers to a paragraph or a line, I skip it, okay? Because when I'm reading, I can always go back to it if necessary. Which of these phrases best describes how Raleigh is portrayed in the passage? So now our first A is actually read. So let's read together. The quest for El Dorado. Ideas should be treasured, but should all ideas be pursued? What if an idea snowballs into obsession? El Dorado lured many Europeans who fancied it to be an unimaginable rich in gold, silver, and precious stones. With tales of El Dorado's grandeur filling his thoughts, one such explorer was Walter Raleigh, an Elizabethan scholar, statesperson, and courtier. He believed that discovering El Dorado would not only bring him immense riches, but also elevate his status in the eyes of Queen Elizabeth and secure his place in history. Little did he know that this pursuit would lead him down a perilous path fraught with hardships and ultimately despair. In February 1595, Raleigh sailed to Guyana in South America with 5 ships and 100 adventurers. They used various boats and a native pilot familiar with the coast. Raleigh reached Trinidad, attacked San Joseph, captured Spanish governor Antonio de Barrio, provided information about the rumored city of El Dorado, and guided Raleigh through the territories he had explored in search of El Dorado in 1592. Raleigh then proceeded up the Orinoco River toward the Guyana highlands. The voyagers faced numerous obstacles such as stormy weather, treacherous sandbanks, and the shallow waters of the basin. Even Raleigh's trusted native pilot, once believed to be knowledgeable, struggled to navigate the complex water routes. After enduring 4 tiring days of oppressive heat, the explorers reached a smoother passage. The crew persevered in the unyielding search for El Dorado, fueled by the hope of uncovering the fabled treasures that had lured them to Guyana. As they sailed deeper into the heart of Guyana, the explorers encountered dense jungles. Raleigh guided his crew to overcome each obstacle that stood in their way. The crew's unwavering commitment pushed them to journey around 150 miles along the Orinoco and reach the Caroni River's confluence. After a long struggle against the river's current, Raleigh stood before its might and rowed upstream. He sent his scouts to look for the gold mines. Ahead stood Mount Roraima, a towering mesa, with its sheer cliffs reaching 400 meters. Raleigh was filled with awe and temptation as he gazed upon this magnificent spectacle. Was this El Dorado, a heavenly sight? The very essence of the land itself echoed a sense of mystery and allure. Raleigh couldn't help but wonder if the fabled city of gold, El Dorado, was hidden somewhere within the depths of Mount Roraima. The lush vegetation and unexplored wilderness surrounded the mesa only multiplied his desire to find out the untouched paradise. However, by then Raleigh's crew had traveled nearly 400 miles inland. The rainy season had begun, so navigation on the Orinoco became terrible. Raleigh had to leave his ships in Trinidad and return to England with nothing but a sense of unfulfillment. Back in England, he was accused of overspending on the expedition and hiding gold in distant lands. Fueled by frustration, Raleigh penned an exaggerated narrative, the discovery of Guyana. Yet the question lingers, where is El Dorado? Is it concealed in the mists of legend and romance, forever tempting explorers with its alluring treasures? All right, now it's time to answer the questions. So question number 1. How does paragraph 1, lines 1 through 7, link Raleigh's pursuit of El Dorado with an overarching theme of temptation? Now, we're not going to go back and reread paragraph 1, but I actually encourage you to. Go back, reread paragraph 1 with me, and then come back right here and go over the question. Okay, A, it focuses on Queen Elizabeth propelling Raleigh toward the quest for El Dorado. Now, was Queen Elizabeth really pushing Raleigh? No, he was really doing it for himself because he wanted to prove that he was worthy to Queen Elizabeth. So A is not the answer. B, it highlights that the exploration of El Dorado was based on a risky and complicated plan. Now, later on in the passage, it definitely does, but not up there in that first paragraph. It illustrates an example of a trip in which many Europeans encountered challenges even before proceeding on the journey. Is it really talking about journeys of other Europeans? No, it's really sticking with Raleigh, right? So C is not the answer, and we're left with D. It draws an analogy between Raleigh's voyage and the idea that allure can lead to decisions with regrettable outcomes. D is our answer. Question number 2. Which of these phrases best describes how Raleigh is portrayed in the passage? Now, friends, really think about it. If you were to describe Raleigh to someone, how would you describe him? Use that answer to help you with this answer. Okay, was he a determined explorer with vaulting ambitions? Yes, he was very ambitious, right? Okay, let's look at B. A competent writer with a persuasive pen. Did it really talk about his writing? Is that what he's known for, his writing? No. C. A statesperson with aggressive policies. Yes, but not really. He's known for his adventures, right? A shady figure. With mysterious goals. Yes, he has mysterious goals, but is he shady? It doesn't really show that he's really shady in this, right? So we really see his determination, so that is A for our answer. Now, friends, we're going to read a poem by Edgar Allan Poe about El Dorado. And we'll answer one question about this, and then we'll answer 2 questions at the end that relate to both the poem and the article that we just read. So here we have the following poem by Edgar Allan Poe describes a mythical expedition to El Dorado. El Dorado. Gaily bedight, a gallant knight, in sunshine and in shadow, had journeyed long, singing a song, in search of El Dorado. He had grew old, this knight so bold, and o'er his heart a shadow fell as he found not a spot of ground that looked like El Dorado. And as his strength failed him at length, he met a pilgrim's shadow. Shadow, said he, where can it be, this land of El Dorado? Over mountains of the moon, down the valley of the shadow, ride, boldly ride, the shadow replied, if you seek for El Dorado. So looking at the question here, which of these statements best describes the major source of the knight's gaiety in stanza 1, lines 1 through 6 of the poem El Dorado? So again, feel free, go back and reread those lines and then jump back where we are right now. So what we have to do is we have to think about the knight's gaiety. What does gaiety mean? It means happiness, right? It means joy. So which explains the knight's joy, right? So his belief that El Dorado is within reach, backed by the shadow's encouragement to ride on. Is that really showing it in, lines 1 through 6? No, that's a little bit later on, but maybe there's a little doubt in there. His aspirations and the anticipation, the excitement of finding El Dorado, which made him hopeful. Yes, absolutely. But let's look at the other ones too. His innate talent for crooning songs, providing him relief during his tedious and long travels. Is that what's providing him gaiety? No, he has this goal. He has this mission that he's really, really excited about. His splendid discovery of the legendary city of gold, El Dorado, which brought him ecstasy. Did he discover it? No, he did not. So D is not the answer. Now our next 2 questions are going to take the passage that we just read as well as the poem and sort of combine these 2 texts together as the questions are asked. What fundamental aspect of human nature do both texts, The Quest for El Dorado and El Dorado, illustrate? A. Our desire to chase the unknown is fueled by our wishful thinking about a perfect and wealthy world. We do have this desire of the unknown, right? We desire to know what we don't have. We desire to know what the future is. It's just an innate desire that human beings have. Let's look at B. Our perception is shaped by the stories and legends of places of mystery and wonder. Is our perception based solely on that? I mean, maybe a little bit, but not very much, and that doesn't really align with the stories that much. Our imaginary fears and persistent self-doubt prevent us from pursuing our dreams. Did this talk about self-doubt and fears? Not really, right? It talked about excitement. Remember that gaiety that in that search for El Dorado. Our curiosity to uncover and record the hidden pushes us to explore places. Maybe, right? Maybe, but that's not going to be the fundamental aspect of human nature, right? The fundamental human nature is our desire for that unknown, which gives us A for our answer. Question 5. Choose a statement that best reflects how the two texts differ in their depiction of the topic, the quest for El Dorado. The passage describes Raleigh's expedition as a notable historical venture. However, the poem depicts the knight's quest as a metaphorical wandering. Yeah, it does, right? Historical and then just kind of wandering. A is our answer, but let's take a look at the other ones. The passage describes Raleigh's expedition as a heroic adventure. Does it? Is it a heroic adventure? Not really, because he was not successful. And the poem terrifying? Not really. C. The passage represents Raleigh's expedition as a purposeful exploration. Does it? Does it show that it was purposeful? No, it shows that this guy wasted a lot of time and a lot of money, right? However, the poem depicts the knight's quest as pointless roaming. Not really. And D. The passage portrays Raleigh's expedition as a depressing excursion. I mean, a little bit, yeah. However, the poem illustrates the knight's quest as a delightful journey a little bit, but A is definitely our answer. We made it to the end. A shorter video with reading, but that's okay, right? Definitely make sure that you click the link below, check out the membership. It's affordable and it's something that will really help you in your journey, not your journey toward El Dorado, but your journey toward your HiSET GED and whatever is going to happen in your future. Friends, thank you so much for being here. I believe in you and I hope that you believe in yourself too. And I will catch you in the next video. Peace, friends, and God bless.